Hello there. Hi, everyone, and happy Easter to you. Okay, I'm just waiting for a few minutes to see if anyone joins. Okay, awesome. So, happy Easter to you. Hope you had a wonderful Easter celebration with your family. It was great at our end, busy, but it was really good, really. So I also hope that you've had a great holiday so far. In some parts of the country, school is students still have 1 week to go back to school, but at our end, our children go back to school next week. So if you still have 1 week left, please make the most of it with your child to make time to bond with your child, turn off the phones, the laptops, the TV, and actually get on to engaging with your child. Okay, it doesn't have to be an expensive one. Just a walk in the park or going out to play with your child would leave such amazing memories in your child's mind. So please ensure that you set time for quality time with your child if you've still got some time left. But for us, at our end, it's back to school on Wednesday. So for those who are joining us for the very first time, my name is Pauline Lehman. I'm the founder of Star Richards Community Initiative. Star Richards Community Initiative is a charity with a mission to raise aspirations for Black children, to break the cycle of people underachievement in education, as well as promote the well-being of African and BME children and their families. So that is what we do, and I am also a life coach for teenagers. I'm a parent mentor. I'm an author. I actually wear many hats. Thank you, Vanessa, for signaling there. Thanks for joining us today. I hope it's going to be, I trust that it's going to be an enriching session. So I was just introducing myself to our audience. Yes, that I'm the founder of Star Richards. I'm very passionate about education. I'm an advocate for education because I believe that the best gift that we can give our children is a good education. For all other things, we really have very little control over. But for our children's education, when we invest in our children's education, we can always be sure by the grace of God that there will be a very good outcome. And that is why I keep talking about education and I keep talking about it. That is why I'm passionate about it. The other reason why I'm passionate about education is that I'm fed up of Black children underachieving in, not fulfilling their potential, not being aspirational when they are so talented, they are so gifted, they've got so much ability in them. And I believe that if children must go through school, it is important that they go through school successfully. Otherwise, I call it a wasted time in school, because going out of school without good enough grades to give, to help you to study the courses that you would have loved to study I consider that as a waste of time. And that is why I kind of really hone in on supporting our children's education. So today I'm going to share with you 3 things that you need to do, okay, before your child hits term 3. I said before that for some, term 3 starts next week. For others, term 3 starts the week after. So if term 3 starts the week after for you, you could do these 3 things during this week. Now, for those for whom term 3 starts on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday this week, you have tomorrow. It's a bank holiday. You can spend time to do some of these things with your child. Thank you very much for signaling there. Erina, Ayo, thank you so much for joining. And I hope you've had a lovely Easter celebration. So the first thing I want to talk about is your child's report card. Now, at the end of last term, you would have received a report card either by post, or your child would have brought in a letter that has the details of how your child did in term 2. Now, I want us to focus on that report card. It's not there to beautify our cupboards. It's there to give us information that would help us to do something about, our children's education, to ensure that they are progressing properly. So the first thing you want to look at, you want to look at the general picture. It's going to be reporting effort, it's going to be reporting attainment. I want us to start by highlighting the positives. Our children don't always receive the positive messages. What are the positives in your child report? Okay, and praise them, give them rewards, so they know that the little efforts they put in and the results they get are appreciated. So first thing, let's praise them for effort they have put in term 2. So that's the first thing. Now the second thing I want us, or that's the first thing you should look at on your report. The next thing you want to look at is the targets. How close is your child in term 2 relative to the targets that you set as a family, if you did set family targets, or that the school set for them? So look at how close they are to their target. Now, if they are far away from their target, then you may want to talk with your child. Children usually know what the issues are. Find out from your child. Hi, Lillian. Thank you for joining. It's a pleasure having you with us today. So you want to find out really from your child, if they didn't hit the target, what was the issue in that topic? How do they find it? Why, what is it that is the issue? So what we're doing here is training our children to start to take responsibility, because sometimes, having been a teacher, children are blaming teachers. The teacher is not good, the subject is hard and everything, but we want to hear it from the child. So ask them, why did they not do too well? Did they prepare well for the test? Did they understand the concepts? And as they start to think about it, the next thing you want to ask them is, how do they think? What do they think they can do to move closer to the goal? What can you do, even as a family, to be able to support your child? Hi, Shola. Thanks for joining. Happy Easter to you. Hi, Doyin. Thanks for joining too. So, I was saying that you want to therefore find out, ask from them, do they know how to get help? Now, by throwing these questions back at your child, you are helping your child to become a self-reliant student, a student who knows where to get help and who actually eventually, by repeatedly doing this, knows where to go get help. Now, if they don't know what to do, then you can start to make some suggestions. Okay, it could be, you might want to ask the teacher to go over it with you, maybe at lunchtime or after school, to arrange a session like that. Or you may want to maybe get a tutor, or if you can help them yourself, you could do that. There are resources online, the BBC Bytes, the tutors on YouTube that can help your child, raise their attainment, raise them from where they are. So please ensure that you're asking them these questions. Ensure that the report card is not just something that ends in the envelope, at the bottom of the cupboard, but that we're actually doing something about it. Now, the second thing that you need to do is to set new goals. I am a very, very strong believer in setting goals for everything. Okay, but here, because we're talking about education, we're focusing here on the goals with regards, or that pertain to the things that affect your child's educational attainment. So it could be goals to do with your child's actual educational attainment. It could be goals to do with behavior. If your child had behavioral issues, the teacher put them on report and that kind of thing. You want to ensure that you are setting new goals to do with the behavior. It could be to do with completion of classwork. Some children just rush work. They don't put detail into their work. And usually if you look at your child's book, the teacher will write comments there to help you know whether your child is just one that rushes their work or one that actually applies themselves. And you want to set a goal to help them in that area. You also may want to set a goal to do with completion of homework, not just completing it, but completing it to a high standard. Again, children do rush work, so it's not always, so though they may say, Mom, I've done my homework, Dad, I've done my homework, it may not always be completed to the best standard. So ensure that, again, by looking at your child's book, the books, teachers mark the books, so please endeavor, even for children in secondary school, take your teenagers' books and just go through the book with them to see the comments that teachers write in the books. That will help you to be able to ascertain whether your child is doing work to the best of their ability. Remember, your child has got potential, but sometimes they just need a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of support, a little bit of a push to be able to help them to improve. So look at those. It could be to do with punctuality. arriving school on time. For teenagers who walk to school or who go to school on their own, are they arriving school on time, or are they moving from one lesson to the other on time? Sometimes they may just want to hang out maybe in the toilet for a bit longer, and that kind of thing. So it's important to set goals around those 5 areas. And to be able to assist you, I'm going to post a link. I've got a strategic goal setting sheet to help you sit down with your child, probably tomorrow if they're going back to school this week, or at some point this week, or even if the term has started. Just ensure that during the first week of the term that you actually sit down with your child and help them to set these goals. So I'm going to put the link at the end of this session on the Facebook page. You just click on the link and download that sheet to help you work with your child. Now, the third thing that you need to do, either this week if you still have 1 week at home, or maybe during the first week or first 2 weeks if your child is going back to school this week, is to revisit the topics your child has studied. Now, in term 3, in secondary school, in primary school, schools have different policies, but sometimes the end of year assessment would cover everything the child has done during the school year. So that is usually what happens in secondary school. Now, if that is the case, then it means that you need to be able to support your child to be able to ensure that they are not lagging behind. So you want to, if you've been following your child closely, you may pick out the topics they're struggling with. So during this time, you want to ensure that you revisit this, you encourage your child to revisit these topics and to be able to ensure that they assimilate it properly using either a textbook, using resources online, or if you can help them yourself, then please feel free to do so. But we want to ensure that by the end of this year, when they get on to doing exams, that your child is fully prepared. Now, why are these exams really, really important? Now, end of year exams are used by teachers to set children, put them in ability groupings, and we call that setting. And you've heard the term, I'm sure your children have said, I'm in a top set, I'm in a bottom set, and that kind of thing. So that is what I'm talking about. So children are grouped by ability. Now, by supporting your child to do really well in their end of year test, you are increasing their chances, if they were not quite there yet, to be able to do well in the test and be moved on to a higher group. In secondary schools, we have these ability groupings: the top set, middle set, bottom set, and so on. In primary schools, it's by either color, table, the red table, the green table, and so on. Sometimes it's by the name of a fruit, or by, the name of an animal, and so on. Again, if it means nothing to you, please speak to your child's teacher to say, my daughter says she's in the blue or the red group. What is the red group? She said there are different tables. What are those tables all about? So you want to ensure that your child is moving from one table to the other if they're in primary school, and you want to ensure that you're supporting your child to move from one set to the next set. So that is why it's important. Now, why am I really particular about the issue of ability groupings and groups in which your child is? Now, the really important reason is that children are set by ability groupings so that to enable the teacher to pitch the lesson at a level that children of a certain ability can understand. So if I'm teaching a high ability group, I'm going to be using different strategies. Shola will agree, she's a teacher too, using different strategies, to a situation where I'm teaching a bottom set, a low ability group where I've got children with special educational needs or children with behavioral problems. So the strategies are different. Now, in a lot of cases, the children in those, especially the low ability groups, need that level of support. But if you are a kind of parent that actually invest time in supporting your child, you really don't want your child to be in the wrong group just because you did not invest the time to support them. And that is why I think ability groupings are important. The other reason why I think the group your child is important is because in the low ability groups, that is where you have children with either learning difficulties or behavioral difficulties or a combination of both. Now, that means that the lessons will not be pitched at the same level. The strategies will be different. And your child who is able, okay, but has not manifested their full ability, okay, will be lagging behind. Their needs will not be met. They will not be stretched enough. So you don't want a child who's got the ability, but who has not proved it, to be in the wrong group. And also in low ability groups, you have children with behavioral problems, which means that the teacher spends a lot of time trying to manage behavior, which means that the quality of teaching, the amount of time she spends or the teacher spends teaching, is not as much as they would in a class where children are well behaved, for example. So we want to ensure that as much as possible, we are supporting our children so that they are placed correctly. We don't leave it to chance. You don't want to leave your child's destiny to chance. And that is why I am quite particular about, thank you, Shola, that's right, less teaching time, we know about it. So we want to ensure that our children are in the right group. Also in those groups, your child is mixing up with children with bad behavior. And remember, poor or bad company corrupts good character. Remember, we send our kids sometimes to school and they come with, saying things and behaving in ways that are strange to us. They pick it up. So you don't want your child to be in a group where children are poorly behaved, and if every time they are within that environment, that may as well affect their behavior. So that is why I'm quite particular about it. So please, during this time, support your child. So I mentioned 3 things that you must do to ensure that your child has an awesome start to the third term. The first thing is report cards. Go back to those report cards, look at them, and see where there are loopholes and how you can fill them. The second thing is set new goals for term 3. Okay, having taught in school for so long, I come across very bright children who are content with a B because they have no goals. Okay, a goal helps a child to aspire. It gives them something to look up to. And children tend to, when we set goals for them, they tend to want to meet that goal. So let's not be afraid of stretching them a little bit. There's nothing wrong with stretching your child a little bit. Children have got capacity. So if you don't maximize that capacity by taking them a little bit out of their comfort zone, we will not get the full potential being manifested. And I did say that I was going to put in a link where you can download my strategic goal setting sheet to help you sit down with your child or children and actually set goals. It's going to be for children in secondary school. It's got all the subjects there. We're going to be looking at each subject individually. Third, revisit topics your child has studied and hone in on the topics that they have struggled with during the last few terms so that they can be adequately prepared for their end of year assessments. So finally, if you've got any questions, any comments, please type them in because I've shared my 3 important strategies I thought you needed to know. So while I'm doing my last final bits, you can actually just type in questions or maybe send me questions when I know what help parents need and I know how best to support you. So please, if you've got parents, you've got questions, you've got concerns, text me, inbox me, add it to this thread, and I will know how to support you better. Now, if you're joining us now and you have not liked the Facebook page, please like the Facebook page at the end of this broadcast. Also, I've got a book here in which I share a lot of these strategies titled Surpass Every Expectation. That is my book. It's a proven system for helping parents raise high achieving children. You can grab a copy either from my website www.starrichards.co.uk or you can grab a copy simply from Amazon. Whichever you want is absolutely fine by me. So I can't see any questions at the minute, and if there are no questions, then I will have to wish you a wonderful start to the third term. And also, actually, I want to put up a session tomorrow at 12 o'clock for parents and teenagers Okay, teenagers who are doing either GCSEs or A levels. So please join me tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I'm going to be doing a session for parents to show you how you can support your child as they prepare for their exams. The exams are less than 4 weeks down the road, okay? So please join me tomorrow. If you've been blessed by this, can you please also share with parents that might find this useful? Okay then, thank you Leland, I do appreciate that comment. Thank you so much, and I believe that you've all grasped one thing or the other. Okay, have a blessed night. Until next week, I will see you then. God bless you. Bye-bye.